Hey, what's up, guys? Just coming on my Sunday live and wanted to go over some protein powders that are on consumer labs that show that they're quality. Everything's there and all that good stuff. So I'll give it a minute or two. I need to start. My wife keeps on saying, "Did you put a post up letting people know you're going to go live?" No. So I'm glad this is recorded so you guys can have the information because that's what this is all about, sharing information with you guys. So I want to talk about protein powders. I want to show you a few from consumer labs that have been tested. I got a couple in front of me too that I bought myself to do a quick review rather than waste you guys' time watching a long ass breakdown review on the now protein and on protein chocolate. But I'll just jump right into this. So I just wanted to share with you guys on consumer labs the proteins that actually have been tested that are quality. Let me see if I can pop this up here. So here we go. So these are proteins that have been approved by consumer labs. They've been tested for the amount of protein that's in them and also for contaminants as well. There's actually quite a few. I think there's only a few protein manufacturers out there, and a lot of the companies actually use these particular ones, especially companies that are concerned with quality. We got Designer, was that Designer Wellness, Whey, looked like it was clean. GNC's Amped, Wheyabolic, Chocolate Fudge was clean. We have GNC Pro Performance, was clean. Give it up to GNC. Isopure, this was one of my favorites. Protein's so damn expensive now that I haven't been taking protein powder myself the last month or so because it's just an expense that I can't afford. We have Jarrow formulas. Is actually clean. So you see that on Amazon. They're pretty reasonable. There's a top pick. This is one actually I reviewed. And this was not that bad. It's a NutriCost grass-fed whey. It's not too bad as far as cost-wise for grass-fed. If you search this particular product on YouTube, you'll probably see my review come up. And it tasted good. It wasn't bad flavor. This is unflavored, but I had the chocolate. I think it was pretty good. Optimal Nutrition on. Okay, this was a top pick, and just so you know, I got it right here. I'll pick this whole bag. This is Dutch Rich Chocolate, and this is just a quick review on this. There's no flavor in this sucker. It tastes like there's just cocoa powder in it, and what sucks is you're consuming like all these sweeteners. You have Ace K. Well, not a lot of them. Ace K. Well, that's the only sweetener in here. Okay, well, it's not bad. But I don't know if you guys know about Ace K, so I don't talk about it a lot. But Ace K's had some studies. Toss that off to the side. Price is reasonable. Didn't have any upset stomach on that thing. But like I said, there was absolutely no flavor whatsoever in that on Dutch Rich chocolate. I mean, it was almost flavorless. It was not really a good experience if you are into flavor, especially if you like seeing something that says Dutch Rich chocolate and you're like, oh yeah, put this in the refrigerator, it's going to be really good. But Ace K, the evidence on Ace K, as far as that they're not telling you, there has actually been, so there's been evidence that something called acetoacetamide is created in the body from Ace K when it's broken down. And it's been shown that it can possibly lead to damage to the thyroid in lab animals. So one thing you want to watch out for Ace K, there was also a study that determined chronic use of Ace K in male mice was linked to possible changes in brain function over a period of 40 weeks. And it says, even with contrary evidence from the CSPI and elsewhere, the FDA, good old FDA, still approved Ace K for our consumption. You know, we really have to be, I hope you guys are really considering how much of this stuff you're consuming. Honestly, my stomach has been so much better since I have gotten off of whey proteins lately, because I couldn't find money was an issue, but you can't find a protein without ACE in it. It's just ridiculous. I mean, there's probably a few out there. Hey, we got some casein here. It looks like they copied the bottle of Universal Nutrition almost. Like that. Who's that? Madre Labs. Okay, I never heard of that one. We got Elite Casein here. This is a casein proteins. Elite's a good formula, but they have a lot of artificial sweeteners in there. They taste real good, but you're going to be hit with a lot of artificial sweeteners. ACE K included. This is a shake drink here by GNC Total Lean. So it was approved. Looks like there was nothing in here that wasn't approved. I'm trying to see here. J-Rob egg whites. I think it's kind of expensive for egg whites. You're better off going with the Paul Nutrition's egg whites. That was approved. And then here you got now PEA. So this is a pea protein. So this is a vegetarian protein. So hey, got another one here. So now this was pretty reasonable at the time. So I tried their whey protein isolate. This was a creamy chocolate flavor here. So it's all gone. Quick reviews. This has stevia, which is the reason why I liked it. No ACE K in this thing. Just has stevia, sea salt, sunflower lecithin, and xanthan gum. So not a lot in this sucker. So fabulous protein if you're trying to stay away from artificial sweeteners, like a bunch of them, and a bunch of stuff that we really don't know how they're going to affect us. The flavor on this one was actually better than that on with the ACE K. This had it wasn't a fantastic chocolate flavor, but it was chocolate. Like, it was chocolate, almost like cocoa, a healthy cocoa hit. So you kind of know, like, you've probably taken chocolate proteins before to where you're like, yeah, I can tolerate this. It tastes a little bit like chocolate. But this was actually better tasting than the on. And like I said, for those of you that are actually looking for something that doesn't have a lot of extra ingredients in it, just totally check this out. On actually does pretty good on some of their products there. So here, the pea protein is on the screen, is doing pretty good. And here is a not approved one. So stay away from Chobani plant-based protein. So I've never heard of it, actually, to be honest with you. It must be something on Amazon. Vega 1, they actually do pretty good. I just don't like their formulations on the vegetarian or vegan proteins, because they don't throw a lot of leucine in there and the mixtures. Here's a hemp protein for those that are interested. This is by Nutiva. Looks like it passed. We got peanut butter protein. This is by PB and Me. Peanut butter protein. Oh, I love peanut butter. Here we go. Here's another one. Don't buy Ancient Nutrition protein powder. Why? Had lead in it. Look at that. Lead in that sucker. What would this one have in it? Didn't I get approved? Metals passed. 69% of the protein. So this one here, Chobani, didn't have anything harmful due to excess. Oh, it has too much sodium in it. Okay, so that's not too bad, but you do want to watch your sodium intake. We have cacava, seafood protein, chocolate. Seafood protein. I don't know, is it fishy chocolate? I don't know. Here's a surprise. Excess sodium. This one you see everywhere, in Walmarts and all over the place. Organic protein. So it had excess sodium, but it did not have, it passed heavy metals. So if you're fine with the excess sodium possibly in it, then you're okay with that. Plant Fusion was pretty good. And then we have Shakeology, which is kind of expensive. They've been around for a little while. No, Shakeology has been approved. I like seeing that. Amazing Grass. Is this Amazon's protein? I don't know. Another Shakeology. There we go. So there's all the protein powders. Let's see in the stream here. Anybody here? Nutrition Whey Isolate X5 doesn't contain ACE, and it tastes quite good, at least. Thanks, man. Thanks, Ayo. It's cool. Thanks for the take on that one. I'm always looking for something without ACE and all these hard artificial sweeteners. It's almost impossible to dodge the heavy metals with plant proteins. You're right, man. Even with the greens and the reds that we're downing every day are being pushed to take. I did a video 2 weeks ago, and it looked like what was that company? That major company that actually had heavy metals in it. It was the greens formula that a ton of people are buying. I see it actually, they have advertisements. God damn, Athletic Greens. It had the highest amount of lead, heavy metals in it. And it's being pushed on TV, and people are being told to take it every single day. But even Consumer Labs said, don't take this one every single day. Of course, they said it was only for pregnant women and children, but what's the difference? I don't want to be taking it every single day if you're trying to tell me kids can't take it. You know what I mean? AG1 is the worst. Okay, I've never tried it just for that fact. So I want to talk about the artificial sweeteners a little bit since I'm here. I read a little bit about the ACE there. There's also aspartame. And so I remember a long time ago when my kids were young, they had Flintstone vitamins, and everybody was giving those to their kids. And the main sweetener in it was aspartame. And I was reading way back when that studies were showing that in rodents, it was creating like, I would say holes. That's the best way to describe it, but tears in the tissue in the brain. And I found some information. Oops, that's my alarm for my insulin. Hold on. Take care of that later. So these so aspartame, ACE, and sucralose are the most consumed artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, which represents about 3/5 of the artificial sweetener consumed in the U.S., was linked to 17% higher risk of stroke. So ACE and sucralose were linked to higher risk of coronary heart disease. This is another new study. These are notes that I put down, so excuse me for reading here. Another new study shows saccharin and sucralose, significantly impaired blood sugar levels. So if you got diabetes or potential for diabetes, sucralose, you guys you want to stay away from. Actually, all of these you want to be careful on because, like I said on the top, ACE had problems with the thyroid, but I did also read that there were some hidden studies that ACE had a problem with the metabolism of glucose when consumed over and over, and it kind of built up in the system. And because it says because there are 180 to 2,000 times sweeter, can't read my own writings, than sugar, artificial sweeteners can increase a preference for sweetener foods and drinks. Hey, so that's how they're getting you. So the reason why we want so much flavor all the time is because we're consuming these artificial sweeteners. So it could be the case to where we're so prone to things tasting so well, and these artificial sweeteners are contributing to it, to where our taste buds are being manipulated to always want that great taste. So that's another reason to steer clear of artificial sweeteners for your health, and also the impact as far as that. The manipulation is what I call it. Let me see here. Fabian, what's up, Fabian? I tried that panda cookies and cream you reviewed, and it tasted like butterscotch. Did it? That's funny how everybody's taste buds are all different. NutriCartel has it on the website as whey isolate, but it's a blend and concentrate and wrecked my stomach. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a blend of it has isolated primary, and it's got some concentrate, I think, in it. And I thought it had milk protein in it, but I'd have to look at the review again. I've gone through so many different proteins. But it's supposed to have digestive enzymes in it. That's interesting that it wrecked your stomach like that. It does have collagen in it as well, but like in my review, I go over the sweeteners at the end, and some of these, depending on the dosage. See, this is the thing. These manufacturers, I love Panda, by the way. I love all the companies out there that are trying to actually put out good products. I'm not kissing ass or anything like that, but I love the idea that they're out there trying to help us on our fitness journey with certain things, pre-workouts, energy, recovery formulas, protein, stuff like that. But they don't have to actually put how much of these sweeteners that they put in there. They just have to list it on the bottom of the label. I mean, that's for everybody. It's not even just the manufacturers we're dealing with when we're buying the proteins and all this stuff. I mean, it's out there. You take anything out of the shelf that's got artificial sweeteners in it or emulsifiers or anything like that, you don't know how much is being put into that product. And it's a shame. I think that, if the FDA is going to approve these things with these ingredients showing these adverse side effects, even if it's in rodents and mice and it's not in humans, and even if it's just a little bit, we should know how much we're putting in our body. That's my opinion. So anyways, so I'll get one of the proteins. So if you guys are here late, here's the protein list here. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up after the review if you missed this and you don't want to watch the beginning of the video. But there's quite a few that are actually, as far as quality wise, that are pretty good. The only one you want to stay away from are two, I think, that had heavy metals in them was, once again, that passed. This one right down here, I think. This one right here, 5.7 micrograms of lead per serving. So this ancient nutrition plant, stay away from that. And they're just listing because that's an excessive amount. Like I think it was AO said on the comments there that you can have heavy metals in almost anything that's going to be coming from the earth pretty much. So plant proteins are always going to have heavy metals. And that's another thing. We got a lot of vegan proteins out there. They don't have to list how much heavy metal is in that protein that you're consuming. That's why you don't see me reviewing any vegan proteins. I will not. You can send me some, it's going in the trash. I will not promote that because we're taking protein powders. Some of us are taking 4 times a day. And I'm not going to promote the idea that, you're going to be taking that 4 times a day with the heavy metals there. The heavy metals are worse than some of these sweeteners. If that lead gets in your system and it's absorbed as calcium and it manipulates its way into the structure of the bone and, long-term effects, it could be horrible when that happens. That's about it. Okay, so we'll get back to StreamYard. Let's put my ugly mug on here. So, Bobby, and yeah, it's my bad. Should have read the label next time. No blend, just whey isolate. I'm right with you, man. I like whey isolates as well. You might want to look into this if you're not too concerned about flavor, but this now doesn't have a lot of extra ingredients. It doesn't have any digestive enzymes to it, but you can actually buy some actin or something, actogen, the digestive enzymes to take with it. But I didn't have any stomach upsets whatsoever. So going down, digesting in the stomach was fine and no bubbles coming out. How's that? So this one was pretty good. So I want to check into that. Also the NutriCross, I tried their grass-fed, which is clean. It's a clean protein, and also their regular ISO, and they're both good. No stomach upsets with that as well. Now has never missed on supplement quality in my experiments. I agree. Even when I'm in consumer labs, looking at just other ingredients, whether it's just vitamins and minerals and stuff like that, they're always clean. Like they're already. I think they do their own manufacturing. They don't sub it out to anybody. Hey, I saw your video in Animal Omega. How was it? I like the Animal Omega. Manjul, what's up, man? I like the Animal Omega. And it's a nice little formula, but it all depends on how your diet is. So if you are not concentrating, how can I put this? So it's got omega-6, which is going to help with ARA. It's got the omega-3s from different sources. It's got it from the actual DHA and EPA sources. But then it's also got it from the plant-based sources as well, which is going to be the ALA and the DHA. So it's a good combination. You're not going to notice a big difference in your health right away taking it. One thing I did notice on that one was I felt like my skin felt healthier after about a week or two. I take just fish oil alone. So my diet consists of, I take olive oil, I have olive oil, there's fatty acids. So I worry, I don't get a lot of fish. So I worry more about the omega-3s. So depend on your diet because you don't want too much omega-6. So if you are eating a lot of olive oil enriched foods where you're cooking and stuff like that, and you're eating fish, then I would literally not even worry about the animal omega, and I would just get some omega-3 fish oil tablets, maybe 2 to 4 a day. That would be 2 to 4 grams of it, because that's what we don't get enough of is the omega-3s. Generally, I'd say 70% of the population gets all the other omegas, the omega-9s, the omega-6s, but we are lacking in omega-3s, and they're great for heart health. DHEA and EPA are great for heart health. Did I say DHEA? DHA and EPA are great for heart health. DHA is great for brain health. That actually crosses the blood-brain barrier. So if you have in your family, you have problems with cognitive function when people get older, then that's something you need to be supplementing with right now, even if you've got DHA by itself. So let's see here. Any other products you suggest for omega-369? There's actually quite a few out there. Let me see what I can find on the Consumer Labs here. See what they have as far as listed, if they do have anything. I think they do. Let me see. Omega hemp oils. I think this one comes. Give me just a second here. I think this one comes with the EFAs, the essential fatty acids, which has all of them in it. They have 3 omegas that we need. It's flying down here. You probably can't see the screen. I'll pop it on there if I see them here. Let's see. Let me just pop on so you guys aren't sitting there bored. And you can see what I'm scrolling. So omega-3, we're getting down there. This is all this information. Consumer Labs is actually a great site to go on because they actually break down a lot here. DHA and EPA and how price per bottle and all that stuff if you're concerned about cost. So here we go. On for omega-3s, we have Carlson. I've always found that Carlson shows up pretty good on most of their omega products. So if you see an EFA formula by them, you're probably going to be right and do well with that. Kirkland's kind of iffy. It's passing here, but I've seen Costco. I've seen it on like a list on another list that they had here where it had heavy metals and other things that weren't in it. So I'd stay away from that one just from experience. Life extensions, hit or miss, but mostly a hit. I'm not familiar with this company here. This is all omega-3s. Let's see if we can get on to the omega-6 because of the EFAs. Oh, here we go. Puritan Pride passed. This is a triple omega, 3, 6, and 9. And then we have, is that the only one? This is 3 and omega-7. I don't know. This is a great site. So omega-7 is an omega that's not talked about that much, and it's very important for overall health, cellular health. And I like how they list the omega-7 amount in some of these omega-3 formulas. And this one here, it's got 45.2 milligrams per cap. So this is actually a real good purchase right here if you're looking for a 369 formula. And let's see here. These are just 3s. A lot of them have been approved. And just trying to find another 369 for you to look at. Let's see. I used to buy this all the time. This one here, and took 10 grams a day, spaced out, 5 in the morning and 5 at night. I'm telling you something. My skin never felt so bad, so good. I mean, seriously, I felt good. Joints felt good and everything, but it was 10 grams. It was liquid, so it was a total of 10 grams a day. I had to space it out 5 and 5 because 10 whole grams at one shot with a meal just didn't do good for the stomach. I was sitting here on the couch the other day and it was raining outside and had a high protein meal, and I ripped one on the couch, and my wife looks over, she's all, "Oh, did you hear that thunder?" I started laughing. I said, "Yeah, I heard the thunder." There we go. Omega-3, DHA, no, that was the only one, the 369, man. But I would just look into that. They sell that on Amazon, Puritan Pride. I've tried a lot of their formulas, and they always seem to be good. So that's a good one to sit with there. Sorry, I'm missing all the 100% egg protein. Healthy and fit protein. So, Zero Man, healthy and fit protein. So I like that company. I like what they're trying to do, but, and I don't know if it was on Consumer Labs, and I've tried their massive amino or something. They have this like amino formula that just looks good. They're kind of like a universal animal nutrition type company. But I saw one of their formulas. It's not that it had contaminants, but everything that was in the profile wasn't in the profile. And it was on Consumer Labs. So it kind of like turned me away from the healthy and fit a little bit. But I'm sure the majority of their products, I'm sure there's nothing bad about them. And Consumer Labs really breaks things down. So even if it's like a little bit off, then they're going to list it. They're going to talk about it. I just remember seeing something, but I do like what the company has done with some of their products. It's pretty cool. It's like old school. I love it. What's this one here? Kevin, have you ever tried or looked at Muscle Feast grass-fed protein powders? I mean, I like the company, man, but I haven't seen it. The 500 pound is $100, but it has around 94 servings. And that's the way you save. I actually had to buy my mom and dad a protein. And when I did, I bought them a big old tub that was like, it was $65 with 66 servings. And it was looking for a certain flavor. And the way you save on the protein, of course, like Kevin's saying here, is you got to buy that big tub and you get it for like $1 something a serving. That's the only way to go. But you just have to have that initial, you have to have those funds to actually, put out that $100 or $75. But that's the way to go for proteins for sure. How much does a normal person need? As there is no daily value for it. For omega-3s and omega-6 and 9. So we get enough 9s. Really, we do. If you look at the structure of olive oil, it is almost 70% omega-9s. I mean, don't quote me. I'm just throwing this out there. And then maybe say 65% omega-9s. Then you got like maybe 20% omega-6s and the rest are omega-3s. If you really look at the American diet, we are getting plenty of omega-6 and omega-9s in our diet, but we are really lacking in omega-3s. They say on omega-3 that we should be getting, I think it's 4 grams a day of omega-3s. So seriously, Majul, I hope I'm saying your name right, Manjul. If you really want to structure your health and you are eating the American diet, as far as you're doing olive oil and you're eating with oils pretty much, then concentrate on getting 4 grams of omega-3s a day for health. And you will notice a big difference in joints and cellular function. I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but low omega-3s is going to create cellular, it's going to make your cells impermeable. Like it's going to make them hard to where you're not going to get a lot of activity coming in and out for ATP production. So if you're lacking in omega-3s, it can really create a metabolic function, a problem with a metabolic function within your body. So focus on the 2 to 4 grams a day, and within a month, you're going to notice a big difference in a lot of stuff. Even protein synthesis and muscle growth, there is a long-term effect on getting enough omega-3s in your diet to where it's going to help with muscle protein synthesis as well. Force factor gold to be exact. Let's say optic trap. Like that. So plant protein, green powders, red powders all contain heavy metals and are best avoided. But what about blue powders and gold powders? I bought a gold powder this morning. Force factor gold to be exact. You know what? I'm not even familiar with what the gold powder, force factor gold. I'm just curious. It's interesting. I'm doing these lives, and basically this is kind of like a community thing where I'm learning from you guys on some of the stuff that's coming out here. I'm going to put this on the screen as I'm scrolling through. Let me see if I can get it up in here. Let's remove that. Do that. And let me see if it comes up here. Force factor. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got commercials here first. We don't want the commercials. I'm not here to sell you guys anything. So let's see. What do we got here? Force Factor Gold. Gold. And always getting on me. You always say gold. That's because when I was younger, I played soccer and it'd be all gold. Yes, where's it at? I just clicked on it. Products here. I'm not bringing this on the screen because I'm a Force Factor rep or I have any codes. So don't worry about it, guys. We're just checking this out. Golds. Let's see here. What's the difference here? Oh, is it just so? Okay, I get it. It's just this is mushrooms. So just so you know, on the for the heavy metals, anything that it comes from the earth, which is all this stuff, is going to have heavy metals in it. Optic trap. So you're going to have some kind of heavy metals. It's just there's no way around it. So the more you consume, and keep in mind, 4 or 5 servings of vegetables a day isn't going to kill you. Our body is designed to remove heavy metals to a certain extent. So it's just the idea of finding a company you trust for your greens, your reds, your golds, whatever you want to buy, and go with it. Referrals are always good and stuff. What's up, Alex? Let's see here. What's up for the great help? Hey, thanks, man. Anytime. Live sessions. Appreciate you, man. So that's interesting though. I haven't seen this here before. It's almost like a mushroom formula that they have here. Well, I mean, they're trying to so this is the superfood powders. Not really telling them. It's all kind of like what's in this thing. Here's supplement facts. There we go. That's what I wanted to look for. So organic coconut, that's not going to do much to you. Cinnamon, not going to do much. Just good. Ginger, not going to do much for good. It's going to be okay for you. Turmeric is from the ground. Acacia, chaga, lemon palm powder, tail mushroom, organic turkey, tail mushroom. Yeah, those I meant. Most mushrooms are gonna have heavy metals in them. So if you're taking some lion's mane in large amounts, if you're taking some of these mushroom formulas, you are going to have heavy metals in the product. There's going to be some, whether it's just like even just a minute amount. This isn't too harsh. This is not a greens and reds formula, so it's not going to have any benefits for, in my opinion, for vitamins and minerals, stuff like that, polyphenols. But this is going to have some benefits on a cellular level, and also recovery-wise. That's where you got the turmeric, the acacia, the chaga, and then the turkey tail mushroom. I'm sure they're all extracts. I doubt if you're going to get a big cognitive hit on it, but it's going to be kind of like just another way to approach things, mainly for inflammation responses. So it's not a bad formula. I mean, it's good if you want to spend the money. It doesn't say, it's on Amazon and iHerb, so they're not even selling it here. Yeah, not bad. I meant if I had the money, I'd give it a try. I'm not a mushroom guy, just so you guys know, because I don't like the idea how there's a few things, I think I've said this before, a few things about mushroom extracts out there that are being hidden as far as how they mess with hormonal levels, especially like reishi and lion's mane. I did a review on a product, and I should have done a separate review on lion's mane, but I mentioned in the product about lion's mane and the 5-alpha reductase enzyme being inhibited, and also on reishi. And I don't think the companies appreciated that. So I honestly shouldn't have thrown it in that particular video when I was doing the breakdown. I just get so into the idea of trying to help you guys out with as much information as I can, so you guys know what you're putting in your body. But a lot of this stuff's only going to affect you in large amounts. I mean, I see people taking 2 grams of lion's mane a day. That's way too much. I don't know if you guys follow Russo. Ryan Russo? Oh, no, is that an actor? I think it's Russo, the YouTuber, where he took lion's mane and he went into a horrible slump to where it affected him mentally over a period of time, large amounts of it. And it took him, I think, a few months, more than a few months. He might even still be dealing with whatever effects came about. Also, same thing can happen with ashwagandha. I've had a few companies hit me up because they're coming out with products and there's ashwagandha, and I've done a few reviews. I like ashwagandha as a whole for somebody who's going through a lot of stresses in life, but to continuously take ashwagandha, it can bring on this deadening effect. So if you're taking that product as ashwagandha, I think Ari was experiencing it a long time ago. He DM'd me about taking ashwagandha in a pre-workout, and he was like, "Man, I feel weird. Like I feel dead. You know, it's like emotionally, and it actually triggers a certain response in some people when taking in large amounts and taking consistently, especially if your cortisol levels are fine. So if you're not going through any stress, I don't like seeing it in multivitamins. I don't like seeing it in pre-workouts. I don't like seeing it anywhere other than a single supplement. I think it's a horrible thing to throw at somebody into any kind of a formula. Even like I said, even though I've done a few reviews on some pre-workouts, and my honest opinion on the reviews, some of these pre-workouts worked great. They were great. But pre-workouts are not taken 7 days a week, like a multivitamin or something like that. But it can actually have some adverse effects on you in the long run if your cortisol levels aren't already up, because we need cortisol at a certain level. And if you are to bring it down below that baseline level, then you start creating problems within your body and your system. And that's where that, I forgot what it's called, there's a name to it, but it's a numbness that actually can come on to where it's like you have no emotional state anymore. It just deadens you. It's a weird feeling. I've actually felt it before. Optitrap. Answer my questions. Thank you. I'd rather avoid them all. You got it, man. Or you got it. You know, it's funny when you answer comments, I might say, okay, bro, but then it could be, you know, someone else, you know, like could be the other gender. And I'm like, I don't want to call you bro. I eat plenty of veggies, so I never in the morning greens. Yeah, and that's the way to go. Get your veggies in. You got it. You're right on it. Optic trap. Rishi is known for inhibition, a strong one. Yep. I'm glad you confirmed that. I am your bro. What's up, man? I can't tell by the picture here. I was going to enlarge the screen. But yeah, no, Rishi's thrown out there, like I said, the mushrooms and stuff. So anyways, I really got on here to do the protein thing, just give you guys a little bit of information. And I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I'm going on 40 minutes right now, but I'll be back next Sunday. I'm trying to come in here every Sunday with something information wise, because like I said, in my opinion, this is like a community effort. Like I never heard the golds before. So I really appreciate you bringing that up. I like investigating other, you know, things that are coming out, things that they're calling things and stuff like that. And, you know, learning that type of aspect, and then also delivering whatever's in my brain and in my heart towards you guys, as far as for health wise and to help you guys on your journey as far as fitness and all that stuff. So I'm going to get going. I got some turkey tacos to eat tonight. My wife makes the best. Baby, you make the best turkey tacos. I'm going to grub tonight. We'll see you guys. Have a great rest of the night. I'll see you next time on my next review. We'll see you.